Are we about ready to start, or are we still working on something, or?
I'll start.
From my end, we are ready to go.
We're ready to go? All right.
Yes.
I wanted to start by saying welcome to everyone to Lake Superior Interfaith Community Church Zoom service. And I want to welcome Vinod Gupta to our service, and thank you for being here, and I look forward to hearing what you're sharing. So right now I would like to just give this little prayer that I give thanks to Mother, Father, God for bringing us all together as we support each other in the knowing that we are directed and supported through the love and power of God. Okay, and so now I would like to read what's called our statement of intent. We are fortunate to have a variety of speakers for Sunday services. And by using guest speakers, we gain wisdom from all those who share. This is a church where we can worship the God of our own understanding, a place to experience joy and be uplifted, a place where we can gain strength and inspiration to share with all we meet throughout the week. And we invite you to join us in the celebration of life, to nourish your spirit, and to enjoy the company of kindred souls. So with that, I just want to ask if there's any particular announcements anybody would like to share. I mean, I have one. We're having Virginia Hurley. She is providing a class on angels and how to work with our angels Tuesday at 6 o'clock. And it's $19 for 3 classes, altogether $19. And so I just think it's a wonderful opportunity to hear what she has to share. It's going to be Tuesday night at 6 o'clock. And just, let me know, and then I'll send Denise your email, and she'll send you the link to it. So that's my message. And if anybody has any prayer requests at this time, or like to, whatever.
First for my sister and her daughter, Sarah.
What's her name?
Elaine.
Sister
Elaine.
Yeah.
And her daughter, Sarah.
Okay. Thank you.
And I have
Anybody?
a little update on Carol. Oh, can I?
Yes, Carol.
I saw Carolyn Sheets this week, and I was amazed. She looks beautiful, wonderful. She was standing up. She answered the door using her walker. So she seems to be doing just so beautifully. So yeah. I hope maybe she'll come on here today. I don't know.
She's not able to come on today because she said she was awake all night last night. Oh. She's so tired, she's not able to, but she sends her love to everybody.
Yeah, good.
And I said, maybe you're sleeping too much during the day. So it's all good. So she's fine. Mm-hmm. That's why she just texted me that. So all is well. So, okay. I would like to then say our principles on our, okay. We believe in infinite intelligence, and we believe that the phenomena of nature, both physical and spiritual, are the expression of infinite intelligence. We affirm that a correct understanding of such expression and living in accordance therewith constitute true religion. And we affirm that the existence and identity of the individual continue after the change called death. And we believe in our universal connection in spirit, and that there is communication between the spiritual and physical worlds. We believe that the highest morality is contained in the golden rule. Whatsoever we would that others should do unto you, do we also unto them. We affirm the moral responsibility of individuals, and that we make our own happiness or unhappiness as we obey or disobey nature's physical and spiritual laws. We affirm that the doorway to reformation is never closed against any human soul, here or hereafter. And we affirm the precepts of prophecy and healing are divine attributes contained in all sacred texts. And so I would like to say, if you would like to continue to Vinod, if you would like to, you're on. I want to say,
All right.
we look forward to hearing your talk. So thank you. So, if everybody can mute themselves so there's no interruption to what he has to, I have to do that myself. Okay.
Okay, can you see my name? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, we can see
I
it.
can see.
Okay.
I can see your name. I had to unmute myself to say that.
Yeah,
I'll
that's
mute
okay.
myself again.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you a question, so be ready to unmute yourself.
Oh,
Okay, I'll stay unmuted.
Yeah, yeah. All right, this is my introduction. I'll let you read it as compared to my reading it to you.
paper. Oh.
Okay.
Okay. Interesting.
The topic today is happiness.
Yay.
Oh, boy. Okay. You guys can recognize yourself, at least some of you?
Yeah.
Wow, we're a long time ago.
Hmm.
Why is it doing that? Okay,
That's a long time.
slideshow.
That's a different.
Hmm.
Okay, what does happiness mean to you? Carol, what does happiness mean to you?
Happiness is feeling the joy within me at all times.
All
How's
right.
that?
And what has to happen so that you're more happy than you are at the moment?
Just know that all is well.
Okay.
Anybody
else
else?
All right. Who else wants to jump in? I can't see everybody on my screen. If I did, then I can call them by name. I see only 4 people on my screen. Let me see. Nope. All right. I know time is limited, so I'm going to move on.
Yes.
Okay. You guys can recognize me in that picture?
No.
All right. I'm the one, the lowest person. I'm with my 2 sisters. And this is a picture taken when I graduated with my master's from the best school in the world on pulp and paper making. That guy doesn't look very happy, does he? But 8, 9 years ago, I had pretty much everything which a normal person would want. Okay. I had enough money, had a good job, 2 wonderful children, has a nice house, nice car. But for some reason, I wasn't very happy. So I started to ask myself, what is it? Okay, what is it do you need to be happy? And I didn't have the answer. So somebody said, you know something, you are not the only person at this age. Why don't you talk to people of your age, see if they have a clue? I belong to a health club and there's a sauna. Sauna is a good place. There's nothing to hide in a sauna. So I start asking the question. I say, hey guys, this is what I'm facing. Anybody have any clue? And nobody knew even what I was talking about. So I said, well, I'll have to do something for myself. I start reading a lot of books. I must have read more than 100 books and listened to a lot of TED Talks. And what I'm sharing with you today is sort of summary of all those 100 books and more than 50 TED Talks. So here it is. Happiness is two parts to it. The first part is gratitude. Gratitude for all the good things which happen in your life and all the bad things that didn't happen in your life. So if you give gratitude every day on a continuing basis, you will be happy. But for the life to be fully fulfilled, you have to strive for what you want. That's what makes the life worth living, is striving for what you want. So happiness is not an event. And I'll share with you in a few moments why it is not an event. It's a lifestyle. If you look at this graph, everybody has an average happiness. So when somebody says, I'm unhappy, they're talking about relative to their average happiness. And if you put effort into increasing, you increase your average happiness. All of us at any moment in life are happy or unhappy. If you're below the curve, you're unhappy. If you're above the curve, you're happy. Everybody has a tolerance. Lower the level of happiness, the bigger, the lower the tolerance. So some people are moody because their average level of happiness is low. Okay, so any little thing just sets them off. Other definition of happiness is getting equal or more than what you expect. Now, it's a very simple statement. It's a very loaded statement because expectations change as you get older, as the time changes. So expectations don't stay the same. That's why happiness is a lifestyle, because your expectations change all the time. If you want to make $1 million, after you make million, then all of a sudden you want two. I had a client came to me, he says, oh, I know, I got less than $2 million. If you can help me make $2 million, I'll be great. So in about 2-3 years, he had $2 million, and now I say, I need 3. So expectations change. To meet your expectations is one of the things which was an event. I went to Everest Base Camp in Nepal about 5 years ago. And all the work I had to do to train for it, that's where happiness was. Once I got there, I asked myself the question. I said, what did you gain? I couldn't think of anything. Here's a picture of mine at the top of Great Wall of China in Beijing. Of course, the Great Wall of China is 300 miles long. This is as long as they let you go. After that, it's closed because they can't maintain it. Unhappiness is caused by the gap between your life story, expectations, and actuality. Okay. The gap can be real or imaginary. Give you a couple of stencils. About 4 years ago, I was in Spain doing Camino. You folks are old enough to figure out what is a Camino. Anybody know who a Camino is? No? Huh, I'm surprised. Camino is an old European pilgrim route. It starts in Spain, France, or Portugal, and they all go to St. James' Grave. So I went there for a hike. I did by 85 miles in about 7 days. You meet hundreds of people because they're doing the same thing. So I met this young woman. She was from Germany, about 35 years old. I'm just guessing. So I asked her kiddingly, I said, this is the old people's game. What the hell you're doing here? And she said to me, she said, you know, all my friends are married. They got children. I'm single. I think there's something wrong with me. So I'm trying to figure out what's wrong with me. To me, I was surprised. Young, good-looking woman. What's wrong with you? Because you're not married. There's nothing wrong with that. But she thought there was something wrong with it. The second or third day from that, met a woman from South Africa. You don't meet many people from South Africa. So I said, what you doing here? She says, my son, the only son, passed away 2 years ago. I'm trying to figure out if I'm still a woman. Okay. To me, that unhappiness was imaginary. To them, it was real. So it depends. When you're unhappy, the cause of happiness can be either real or imaginary. Imaginary unhappiness generally comes in 3 flavors. It comes in about you're thinking about past events. You should have done this, somebody would have said something different, something didn't happen. There's nothing you can do about it. It's a mental exercise. And we all do that, including me. Okay. Then the second one is worrying about the future. We worry about imaginary stuff. 95% of the stuff will never happen, but we worry about it anyway. And of course, the third one is worry about the present moment, which is called mindfulness. Okay. So now, have you ever gone to a movie house? I have. Have you ever cried in a movie house? Yes. Have you ever laughed in a movie house? Yes. Nothing has changed except what is projected on the screen changes what's in your head. Your mind does the same thing to your brain. You know, you dream at night thinking everything is real. All of a sudden you get up and you find out, oh, that was just a dream. But your body and your mind reacts to that dream as if it was real. A normal person goes through about 60 to 80,000 thoughts every day. 80% of them are negative. Okay. We all train since we were a little child. Don't do this. It's going to hurt you. Okay. You don't talk to me that way. Otherwise, I'll do this or I'll do that. A lot of negative thinking goes on. Now, all of it isn't bad. Because of the negative thinking, we as a species are still here. Okay. Because of negative thinking was, hey, when we were living jungles, okay, hey, if the bush moves, be careful. There may be a snake in there or there may be a tiger in there. So negative thinking, to an extent, is a positive thing because it helps us survive. But these days, life is so full of ease and comfort that we don't need all that negative thinking to survive. So what is that negative thinking? Unhappiness thoughts comes either from judging yourself, judging somebody else, or judging the situation. Negative thoughts come if you wanted to control somebody. Now, people who are married know that how much time we spend to control your spouse. And you know that there's no way you're going to control them. But we do it anyway, and that creates a lot of happiness, particularly in Western society. Some people play victims. Other people are stickler. Oh, you didn't do it my way. My way is the right way. And people in different churches, synagogues, that's how they're trained. Okay, unless you believe the way I do, you are wrong and you're no good. Okay, some people, they spend their life avoiding stuff. Some people are hyperachievers. Everybody should be an achiever. And some people like to please other people. So all those things create unhappy thoughts. Now, what are good thoughts? Good thought is empathy, compassion, kindness, exploring new ideas, and trying to innovate. If you spend time in these categories, you are in the happy thought. Okay, so what do you do when you have a negative thought? And that's really the crux of the talk today. First thing you have to do is spot it that you're having a negative thoughts. It's called awareness. If you're not aware of it, and most of us are not because we are used to it, not only that we get used to it, the unhappiness thought, any negative thoughts, is portrayed as if they're your friend. Okay, I'll let you take 15 seconds and think about what negative thought comes to your mind. Oh, I'm taller, I'm better looking, I got a better job, my house is bigger than yours, I got more toys. All those are negative thoughts. Okay, so to be happy, first thing you got to do is be aware that you have a negative thought. The second is to stop the negative thought. And what I do, I'm sure some of you do different things, is when you spot a negative thought, I'll take a deep breath with your diaphragm, hold it, and listen to your heartbeat and count until you run out of your breath. In my experience, sometimes if the intensity of a negative thought is very high, it may take up to 3 breaths. You take the first one, when you run out, you take the second one, you run out. Generally by the third breath, negative thought has gone away. It's not there anymore. Then you got to swap it with a positive thought. Okay, now if one of you or all of you are gardeners, 2 things have to happen to have a nice garden. What's the first thing? You got to pull the weeds out. If you pull the weeds out, it's not a good garden until what? Until you plant some good plants. Okay, so not only you got to plant happy thoughts, but you got to take care of the negative thoughts. Now, we all have negative thoughts and positive thoughts. It goes both ways. The negative thought is not you. I have talked to so many people when I give talks, and we all go through that. Oh, I got born on the wrong side of the street. My skin color isn't the right color. My gender is not the right gender. I'm not good looking. All those are negative thoughts. Okay, they hold us back because they think that's true for us, where most of the time that's not true at all. But we don't realize that. So how do you get rid of them? First thing you got to do is, it's a negative thought, that's not me. Okay, if it is telling me that I'm no good, I can't do this because I was born on the wrong side of the track, that's not true. Okay, and when that negative thought comes in, you label it and then take a deep breath and try to stop it. So to increase happiness, the first thing you got to do is reduce the chatter in your head. It's the chatter which makes you unhappy. And the chatter mostly consists of negative thoughts. And some of these negative thoughts are reoccurring. I used to work for someone and he owed me some money. Boy, oh boy, you know, that negative thought that I was the victim used to come to me a couple of dozen of times a day, until I realized that nothing is going to change except that thought was hurting me physically and mentally, because it will stir up your stomach and create acid in your stomach. So I had to use my technique to get rid of that. Now I may get that maybe once in 2 weeks. So when you have a negative thought, and if you do this practice, the frequency of a recurring negative thought will start to go down. And you can actually keep track of it. So in gratitude, we enjoy the beauty and pleasure that already exists in our life. We don't have to do anything. It's already there. And all of us have some good things in our life. Then you got to choose what you want to do and go after it so that you feel your life is fulfilled. So calm your mind. You know, people do prayer and some people use tongues, some people do meditation. The buzzword these days is mindfulness. Okay, some people try to do mindfulness. The purpose of all that is to calm your mind. And since there are a lot of negative thoughts, when you calm your mind, you also reduce the number of negative thoughts. Therefore, it makes you happy. Now, the time you used to take to indulge in negative thoughts, if you can take that time and replace it with positive thoughts, you become more creative, you become more happy, you make more friends. And if you're working, you get better promotions because people like to work with happy people. And by the way, you also become better lovers.
Hmm.
I was reading a book by Tim Ferriss. Some of you might have read it. The name of the book or the title was Tools of Titans. In that book, he mentions that 80% of the world-class performers, whether you're a musician, you're an author, you're a basketball player, or golf player, or football player, 80% of them do meditation to recharge themselves.
Yeah. Tim Ferriss. Well, that's.
I don't think I want to do this. So who's responsible for your happiness? You are. So to be happy, dance, play. And if you don't want to do any of that, maybe you can volunteer. Okay, doing volunteer works makes you happy because you're giving part of you, even if it is for 5 minutes. I wrote a poem when I was coming back from Spain, and I like to share that with you. I saw a cloud drift by. I asked him where he was going. He said, wherever the wind takes me. A little later, I saw a bird fly by. I asked him where he was going. He said he was going south, where it is warm. A few days later, I saw an eagle fly by. I asked her where she was going. She said, I'm glad I'm alive, and today I want to fly higher than yesterday. Today, I want to fly higher than yesterday. The summary of happiness is contained in this poem. So this is me about 3 years ago in Colombia. So what a difference. I shared with you my 2 earlier photos and this one. So happiness is a choice. You can decide to be unhappy or you can decide to be happy. I have a friend. She is sort of, from my vantage point, a negative person. So I remind her once in a while, well, that's negative. And what her response is, well, that's true. And I think she is right. Okay. If a glass is half full, you can say glass is half full and you're right. And you can say glass is half empty and you're right. If you think about emptiness, you are unhappy. If you think about the glass is half full, and it always is, okay, it always is, then you're happy. One thing in life, in everybody's life, including me and most of you, is adversity. If you get stuck in adversity, life becomes miserable. But if you know that adversity is part of life, then you're happy. Tell you a story. This person was unhappy. He was talking to a friend. He said, man, I don't know what's going on with me. I'm unhappy. The friend was a very wise friend. He said, you know something? Happiness guru is coming to town. Why don't you go talk to that guru? He said, oh, that's not a bad idea. So the happiness guru came to town. He goes, tells the guru, I'm unhappy. Guru said, yeah, that's no problem. I think I can help you. He said, I'm listening. He said, there is a fabric shop in town. And in that fabric shop is a saleswoman called Lulu. Why don't you go to that fabric shop and ask for Lulu and tell her that I sent you? He said, man, this is easy. So he goes to the fabric shop, asks for Lulu. Lulu comes on. What can I do for you, sir? He said, well, the happiness guru sent me, and he wants me to buy a fabric from you. Lulu thought about it for a few seconds, and she said, you know something? I think I can sell you the fabric, but I should tell you, there are some rough spots in the fabric. So if you make a shirt out of that, I think it's going to prick you because of some rough spots. If you can live with those rough spots, life would be wonderful. And guess what? She was right. He said, yeah, I'll buy that fabric. He got a shirt made, and boy, at times, those rough spots would bug the hell out of it. That's what life is. There are a lot of beauty and grandeur and happiness in life, but there's also adversity for everyone. So when people say, well, this is bad, if you think adversity is part of life, you will be happy.
Yeah. All right.
So I like you to pledge that you will practice gratitude and take action to be happier in 2021 than 2020. Can you guys do that?
Yep.
Good. And I think my time is up. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much
You.
for
And I
your
wanna-
message. Lots to think of.
Yeah, and I want to thank Sue Brewer to giving me this opportunity to share my experience. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Sue.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
Wonderful. Appreciate it. Okay.
Any questions?
No, I don't have any.
All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
So
Um,
can I just say something? Sorry, Laura Whitney. And really, I just want to say, so I've just observed Vinod, and I hope I'm saying your name right, just, walking often, always pleasant, always cheerful. And thank you for sharing your study, because you really did take this seriously. Anyway, thank you so much. And right on.
The key thing, Laura, is this. I have given a lot of talks. Key thing is, if you like something in the talk, practice. Practice every day. Because some people listen to the talk and they get all excited, and then talk to them after 3 days, it's all gone. Because practice, practice, practice. Practice is the mother of a skill.
But also, what you also say is that adversity helps, and you're absolutely right. I mean, I work with people. I'm a psychologist. You got to have something you're going for. You got to have something that you learn and grow with, because that makes us happier.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to comment or?
Mike Anderson here.
Okay.
In response to what Laura just said, resilience is defined in psychology or positive psychology as suffering well. So within the context of adversity in life, I'm not going to say it's full of adversity, but we certainly experience our own. We recognize it, but at the same time, don't allow it to bring us down, but to find that inner strength, that passion within to fulfill our potential, our capacity to be It's that spirit, that life force. And it's through adversity we have an opportunity to find that connection.
Yeah, it's just like retirement, Mike. If you want to retire, you got to start saving when you're young. Really, otherwise, like COVID is a good example. A lot of people live because they don't think things going to change and all of a sudden lose a job and now they are in the food line. Same thing happens with people don't think bad things going to happen to them because they live in America, the greatest country in the world, nothing is going to happen to them. So you got to start accumulating goodwill when you are happy, when nothing is wrong. So you can use that when things go wrong.
Could we get back to the full screen again?
Now, how do I do that?
I
You
think
want me to get out of this? Okay, there you go.
Oh,
Thank you. Okay. Anybody else would like to comment at all? Perfect opportunity.
Okay, Carol Condrath, do you have a picture for us?
Oh, jeez.
I'm sorry, I didn't get that. Was it?
Oh, Carol always draws a picture.
Oh, Carol draws the picture. Okay,
Unmute
thank you.
yourself.
Oh, that's nice.
Good.
Carol, you need to unmute yourself.
Well, I loved our conversation today, Vinod. And every day I see a little thing I have on my desk, and it's from the Dalai Lama. And it talks, he says, our purpose is to be happy. So at times I have done some studies on myself and I said, what is my purpose in life? And I came up, it's to be happy. And then when I hear this, and I just know that that's the work for me anyway. And there is suffering, there is crazy thoughts and all this. And I love your idea about the breath, because we always have that tool, we can stop and breathe. Anyway, all wonderful. It's just the practice. I'm also a musician who doesn't practice enough. And I realize when I don't practice, it doesn't go too well. So thank you, Vinod.
Thank you.
This is just energy to me. This is the happiness energy is from, it's out there, I just have to put my arms out there and touch it, and be part of it. I love it.
I'm gonna share this thing with you. I was a little scared giving this talk to such a wise group of people. And I thought, how is it gonna go with them? They all know this stuff.
Yeah, but isn't life so simple that it's complex in a way? I mean, the simplest things are what are the mystery. So it takes listening to you and seeing our smiles and hearing Laura's words. It takes all of this to make it rich.
Appreciate that. Thank you for the opportunity.
Oh,
I think we know it intellectually, but putting it into practice all the time, that's the struggle. That's the challenge.
Yeah.
Doing the work.
Yeah.
Actually, can I say a couple of words about that? Because that comes up. Okay, let's face it, life is busy for everybody. Okay, so how do you take a few minutes, whether it's 5 or 10? I ask people who have a dog, I said, do you walk your dog? They said, oh yeah, I got to do that. Well, that's a good time for you to take some deep breaths. If you're working, park in the parking lot so you have 2-3 minutes to walk to your office.
Yeah.
Okay, so the key to doing this is make it a routine. Routine can be a friend when you do good things with it, and it's terrible when you have a routine of doing bad things. For example, if your son calls and you have a teenager son or a grandson and they give you hell, they think you're dumb, and guess what you do? You run to the refrigerator. That is a routine. So you got to change the routine and build what you want to do into your routine. And in a couple of months, you would never know you're doing it because it becomes part of you.
Good.
Very good.
It's kind of like learning how to walk 5 miles a day. Oh, geez,
Oh.
I just walked my mouse.
And I like the part where you said label it. I'm going to work on that. I'm going to do that. I'm going to label it next time I get negative and then see what happens. It will stop.
It works.
Yeah, I bet it does.
Yeah, it really works. The key is just doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Good, good.
Yes.
It sounds so easy, but it's, that's the hard part, is remembering to do it,
Write it down in a book. For $1, you can buy a notebook from Dollar Tree or a dollar store. And you write down, even if you didn't do it on a certain day because you got so busy or you got so out of whack, you write it down. I didn't do it today. It will be amazing if you do that, how you yourself make it happen.
Yes.
Good, good. How to make it happen. Yeah, it's great to make it happen, how to enjoy your life with whatever that is, to enjoy what you do or to write it down or to share it with someone too, is to share that too. It's sharing how you feel, and how you feel is from your heart and spirit too. So it's sharing however that is for you too. It makes you happy, and to be happiness, you can feel it. Just like walking down the street, because it feels good. It feels good for you. And when it feels good, you're happy too. So however that is. So thank you for a great talk. You're a good reminder for what we do, we can be happy for.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah.
Any other comments? Okay. Okay, then I would like to just say to everybody to thank you for your support of Lake Superior Interfaith Community Church, and to feel free to send donations to our church at 1414 East 9th Street, 55805. It could be through mail or through a banking option, and we're just grateful for everything. And so I would like to read the church affirmation. And we totally accept the belief that God is in charge of the affairs and directions of Lake Superior Interfaith Community Church. We know that as our thoughts of trust and joyful anticipation join in harmony with the thoughts of all the members of this fellowship, we attract the right ministerial leadership to our spiritual community, and we are grateful. And amen. And so now there's like a benediction. What did I do here? 1 minute. It's here. I put this thing. Oh, here it is. Sorry, I should have this memorized by now. Okay, I would like to say this. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. And all is well. Okay. I want to thank you all for being here. And thank you for your beautiful message. It sure made my day even better than ever. All this positiveness.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here. And so, yeah.
Thank you very much. I'm grateful.
Yes.
Are we?
Yes. So if the board members want to stay on after and chat for a bit, that's fine. Let me know.
Okay, I'm going to sign off. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for being here.
Thank
Okay.
Thank
See
you.
you all.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye now. Bye.
Have a
Yes,
good
so-
week, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
So